Hello, good evening and welcome to the program Compliments of the Season. This is Daily Politics, coming to you live on Trust TV, where we delve into critical issues intersecting politics, policy and governance. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Tonight on the program, we reflect on the Tinubu Administration as 2024 comes to a close. While the government touts its reform policies as game changers for economic stability, many Nigerians, particularly the most vulnerable, are still grappling with escalating cost of living and economic strain. Are the reforms delivering on the promises or deepening the hardship? Also on the program, we'll take a look at developments on the regional front, where tensions are mounting high as Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso, now part of the Sahel Alliance, have outrightly rejected ECOWAS' extended negotiation timeline. And what does that mean for the regional stability and the role of ECOWAS in resolving internal crisis, and of course the future of the bloc? Join us to dissect some of the issues, especially in relation to the year 2024 under the Tinubu administration, is Aliyu Audu. He is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Communications. Compliments of the season to you, and thank you so much for joining us on the program. It's good to see you again.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Right. It goes without saying that Nigerians have had a tough year in the year 2024.
Yeah.
I'd just like to get how you like to contextualize it against the backdrop of what the president and his administration promised to do to mitigate the effects of this sluggish economic growth that we're seeing.
All right. I mean, if you remember what Mr. President campaigned on, was about renewed hope, you know, because quite frankly, we were at a point where the average Nigerian was beginning to lose hope. You know, I mean, it's bothersome, right? And he made known his intentions. He made known that he understands the challenges and he understands the solutions, and he has what it takes to lead us in the direction of fixing it, right? I mean, while it is easy for us to distrust, I mean, there's distrust between people and the government over the years because of promises made and not kept. Perhaps we could give President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, some sort of trust. Let's believe, because we look at his track record, we look at what he's done in Lagos. Do you understand? We look at the growth that Lagos has been. I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the divide you belong to. I mean, in the words of His Royal Majesty, you know, SLS, he said, before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into Lagos as a governor, the sea, water, was brown and black. But right now it is blue, like it's supposed to be. It took time, you know, and it took work, but most importantly, collective work. But before our work can be, you know, fruitful, we have to believe, Iman, we have to believe that it can be done. We have to have the intention that we are doing this work to fix our country, because we believe with the right work, God will bless the work of our hand to fix our nation for the greater good of the greater numbers of Nigerians. And the more we are committed to doing this, the quicker we get out of where we are. But in order to do that, there were fundamental issues that were wrong, that if we ever want to be successful, if we ever want to live in a country where a Nigerian does not have to sacrifice his own personal dreams just to be able to earn the basic necessities, then there are things that we've got to get right. We've got to be productive. We've got to stop being wasteful. Then we've got to be collaborative. Then we've got to be united. Then we've got to support each other. I mean, there is beauty in competition, right? Only if this competition is healthy. Like, the times of, the Sadaunas, the First Republic, the regions were competitive, were healthily competitive. We need to get back to that stage where, and he said it, when he was governor of Lagos State, he said, the only way the country grow quicker, the only way governance grow quicker is if you take government closer to the people. Now, let me tell you how Abuja is situated. Let's look at Abuja, for instance. Abuja has 6 area council. And that was an increment. When I was younger, it was just for Kwali and which one were created? Kwali and Buhari. Because I remember Buhari was under Amak. But do you know where Orozo is? Do you know where Karishi is? Karishi is under Amak. Meaning, if someone in Karishi needs, the basic license that the local government level gives, that person will have to travel all the way to Amak in Area 10. That's a lot. That's a lot
of people will counter your argument directly by saying that, yes, he's done well, but so have many others in the past. You could even go back to the military regime when Buba Marwa was military administrator of Lagos. A lot of people still reminisce and talk about that. But the Lagos that we're seeing today has grown tenfold from when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was last president.
Oh, yes.
He was last governor in 2007.
Oh, yes.
But in terms of talking about the deliverables, right?
Yeah.
This is month 19 now, going into month 20. So 2 years is almost out of the equation of his first 4-year term. What would you easily point to for Nigerians who are yet to believe in the renewed hope agenda as the deliverables, the gains so far?
All right. I would like to illustrate it this way. Like, we're trying to build a 10-story building. We've got to bring the building down. I'll use a practical example of a building on Ahmadu Bello, on Aminu Kano. There used to be this plaza there. It was brought down. It was pretty old. It was brought down, and there's a now very modern plaza there right now. I'm trying to remember the name, but I can't. But I know you probably see the plaza on the left if you're heading to the mosque. Right. It's on the left before, Now, for a long time, we knew there were things happening there, but we couldn't see it. They kept digging, then they covered everywhere to protect. They kept digging. Ideally, work don't show because a lot of people believe in results, but we've got to cherish the process as much as the result, so that we can enjoy the process. Because if we believe in the process and we follow through the process, every time we get result, it becomes our next target to improve on the result by improving on the process. Right now, the gains I would say that we have been able to achieve in the last 18 months or so is that we have a government that is recording at the macroeconomic level, all the right indices. Practically, we are producing more oil right now. Do you understand? There's argument between NUPRC and NNPC as to they are 1.8 and 1.5 and so how many months. But there was a time when he took over that we're producing under 1 million barrel per day. At least right now we can say we are producing over 1.5. That's 50% increment. And this came as a result of increased security efforts, increased collaborative effort from the society, and blockage of loopholes. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's really a lot, because whether we like it or not, until we get to a point where we are fully diversified, we are still nearly a monolithic economy, a monoproduct economy. Oil is our major stay. It's our mainstay. So we've got to appreciate that. But we've got to know that this oil is not inexhaustive. It's not renewable. Fossil fuels are not renewable. So then we have recorded an increment in the use of gas. We're flaring gases. Gas is so rich. We have more gas in the ground than oil. But we're coming from a point where government was spending so much, doing policies, doing rules as to stop flaring gases. But it didn't stop. The gases were flaring, we're wasting natural resources that God has given us to make money from. And we're not just flaring it, then we are damaging the Mother Earth, we are damaging the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So we're at a point where there's been an increase in the use of natural gas, be it compressed natural gas or liquefied natural gas. We are at the point, Minister of Agriculture, we had a meeting with him the last time. He was telling us that they are acquiring, small tractors, and they've gotten certain people who are going to connect, so that because of the cost of fuel, they want to see that solar panel, like a community-based solar panel in Jigawa, where all of those farming equipment that they can use, the smaller ones, will come with 2 batteries. While one is charging, they are using one. Then when they finish, this is all now beginning to apply knowledge that we have, as against holding back, thinking that the money we make from oil is enough. Let me tell you, our population is so much, and it grows as we speak. Every 6 seconds, a child is born in Nigeria. Every 6 seconds. That's the statistic. A child is born in Nigeria. And you think even 2.06 million barrel compared to our population of 220 million people is nothing when you compare to Qatar. Qatar does not even have, what is the population of Qatar?
Yeah.
But look at the volume of oil they have.
Yeah.
So they can depend on it, and the government can provide a lot of things for them.
Yeah. Okay, so help me square this circle, because on one hand, your analysis seems to be very positive about the trajectory of the economy under the Tinubu administration, where we record, as you said, the macroeconomic indices are looking good.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to especially energy costs in this country, Nigerians are paying the most that they have ever paid in the history of this country under the Tinubu administration, largely because of his removal of fuel subsidy on day one, but also on the subsequent developments around the economic reforms. Look at the inflation figures, 34.6%, all of these things. This is the reality that Nigerians have had to deal with for the most part of 2024. So how do you square this cycle to explain to Nigerians that while their lives are not necessarily better, things are moving in the right direction?
All right. If we know our basic elementary science, we're told energy. Energy is the ability to do work, right? However you want to work, if you don't have energy, you can't work. And that is why when you realize emphasis that the world managers put on food security, it is high. Same as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we've got to unbundle the energy sector in such a way that we move from let the energy even be available, then let me know I don't have the money to buy it. But if I can afford it, then I should have it. So all of the reforms in the sector where government stops subsidizing and saying, Gencos, produce enough, transmit enough to these guys, then you distribute enough and make sure you collect your money. We'll help you with metering, because we know that's where the losses come from. However, you must be able to evaluate bills based on your assured length of supply of electricity. That's why you have the band A, the band B, the band C. If all the business people like your establishment, for instance, can be assured of 24 hours light or even 18 hours light, you'll be saving a whole lot on diesel, right or wrong. So when you look at the overall system, while you think we're paying more, we are actually not paying more, because when you look at the the ecosystem, the energy ecosystem, we are dropping what we are paying. But most importantly, let the people who have the energy to produce be able to produce. What did he do in that sector? He further broke down the energy sector in such a way that you and I, like this, can go into the business of generation. We can go into the business of transmission. We can go into the business of distribution. Local government can do same. Area councils can do same. Districts can do same. Do you understand? Utako can decide to generate their own power if they think they can have. See, because the national grid is still structural and still the only thing, right? But by the time we start doing it and we start applying knowledge, we start getting alternative ways of fixing those solutions, those problems that's holding over. Like national grid right now, you see that there's a failure here, there's blackout. But by the time we start decentralizing this, the national grid, then you realize that, okay, you start having small unit. Like, I mean, I will tell you for free, right? I do not think any distribution company is capable of handling one state, let alone 5.
Yeah, but again, I go back to the question of connecting the dots, right? Because we talk about, at the macroeconomic level, a lot of multinationals have had to leave the country. I mean, this has been the trend for quite some time now. The energy costs are up. Most of them are saying it doesn't make sense to stay in Nigeria anymore because, the margins for profits are no longer there. The insecurity is also playing a significant part. But why does it always look like we're telling two different stories from the same society, where the government believes things are looking up, but the reality on ground is telling a completely different story?
We all look, but we see differently. It's a matter of perspective. I mean, you can look at your glass as half full.
But there are certain facts, right?
Yes, so
however you look at it, 2 + 2 is still going to be 4.
Good, so those are facts. Those are scientifically proven facts. Do you understand? They are not opinions.
Isn't it also a fact that businesses are closing down?
Hold on, now let's get to that part. I do not think the multinationals are leaving Nigeria because of energy. No. I do not think they are leaving Nigeria because of insecurity. No.
Why are they leaving then?
They are leaving Nigeria because, one, they have a business plan that in most cases demand that they leave. For the oil and gas, for instance, let's understand that the global players have to align with the global demands, and the global demand is going towards renewable energy. So they know in the nearest future, fossil fuel is going to be...
nearest future, we're talking probably the next 50 years. Fossil fuel is still going to be the main energy source of the world.
But that is what the world is pushing towards because of the impact, the climate change.
But we're talking about companies like GSK, for instance, who are not in the oil and gas business, who are in, the production of medicines and things like that. We're talking about people in the manufacturing sector, for instance, local businesses, international businesses, who are folding up and leaving the country.
Access to credit. It's a problem. We live in a country where, as a graduate, if you have a good proven idea, most of our universities don't have the value they have because they don't have patents. Because they can't even practicalize their mental work. You walk into the bank, your knowledge is not enough to guarantee you that you're going to get a loan. They'll probably demand to go bring your late mother's father's grave for a little money at high interest rate. It won't work. So what did this man do? He has brought about the credit corporation, Nigeria Credit Scheme. You understand? Credit Corp. And we had an engagement with the CEO, Mr. Uzo Manwaba, at the party secretariat, because the progressive minds within the APC, who we all see ourselves as patriots first before party members, that okay, if we are supporting this government because we believe in this man. However, you guys that are heading this place, come and talk to us as to how all of this. So the guy from the PCNGI came, the credit card came, tax reform, Professor Taiwo Edele was there, then the Mr. Akintunde Sawyer, that is the student loan fund. Now we are getting to a point where any child that is qualified to go into tertiary institution, and for now, public universities, will never not do it because of money again. Because government has said, as far as you have admission, whether you are about to have or you are in school currently, government is ready to pay your school fees. Then give you some money as stipends for you to spend. Because government is betting on you that when you finish, you'll be able to work after 2 years and start paying back at a reasonable rate. Government is spending, because government is the future of Nigeria is on the generation and the generations after us. If you don't educate them, if you don't light up their path, that's why every time you hear Mr. President say, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Because we are moving towards
How long is this tunnel? Because, I mean, you can understand if Nigerians appear to be impatient. I mean, they keep hearing this message
totally
about...
understandable.
Yeah, they keep hearing these promises about things changing from previous administrations. Why should they believe that the Tinubu administration is any different from other administrations in the past who promised to fix the problem in the agriculture sector, in the security sector, in the education sector, in the healthcare sector, provide jobs, provide an enabling economic environment that will allow businesses to thrive, single-digit loans, and so on and so forth? Why should they believe the message of this administration that it is different from what happened in the past?
Because he has track record. He believes in himself. He believes in this country. He believes in the green, white, green.
So did the others, by the way.
No. See, it is one thing to believe, another thing to know, another thing to be able to apply, another thing to have the resilience, the consistency. Success takes all of this, including failure. Failure is a subset of success. Whoever fails and is ready to try again, but try differently, not doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's the kind of person President Bola Tinubu is. And it shows. Look at Lagos. People criticize him how he has Lagos in his pocket. Is it easy?
I mean, to be honest, I mean, Lagos has had a lot of things ready-made already. It was our former capital, our capital for the most part.
Calabar was our former capital. Lokoja was a capital at some point. Abuja is a capital. Abuja has been capital since 1991.
Calabar has been our capital.
Abuja has been capital since 1991. IGR of Abuja does not even come anywhere close to where Lagos is.
No, but I'm saying that to make the point that you can't hinge the success story of Lagos as an economy on one man. That is all I'm saying.
Bro, I'm not saying he's not on one man. But at every point, someone has the touch. If the person guides the touch with the people and moves them towards the end of the tunnel, because he has the touch, right? He is guaranteed that this touch will not go off in my hand. Let's keep moving towards the end of that tunnel, because it's guaranteed that the touch will keep lighting up as far as everybody is carrying their own light touch and say, let me touch it to light up the space, let me touch it to light up the space. Before we even get to the end of the tunnel, by the time we light each other up, the tunnel will lit. Go to advanced countries where you drive through tunnels. You go through China where you drive through rocks. It's well lit. 1 a.m. it feels like afternoon. Light.
Yeah, so does that explain his single-minded behavior when it comes to his reforms? Because a lot of people say, like, listen, sometimes as a leader you have to be decisive, but most times you also have to be open-minded to listen to superior arguments. But the Tinubu administration, in the recent media chat, he doubled down on the fact that, listen, there's no going back on certain things, no matter how controversial they are, especially the tax reform bills, for instance, that is still a contentious issue in this country. Do you think that that is a good way to govern a country that is as complicated as Nigeria?
Yeah, I think you're misconstruing what he said. You know, from what you said is it is good to give in to superior argument. Emphasis on superior. What determines when an argument is superior? It's not on sentiment. It's on facts and logic. That's what makes.
Isn't it a fact that if the tax reform bills are passed into law, it will impoverish or bankrupt a significant part of this country because they will get less than what they currently get, which is not enough?
That's not true. That's not true.
You sure about that? There are several governors on the platform.
They did not read it.
Every governor who...
Yes.
They did
I said did not read it.
Right. Governor Zulum didn't read it.
I challenge both of them to come on air on national TV and let's debate it out.
Right.
Let Mr. Taiwo Edele rest. I will take them on.
You're very sure?
Yes.
They didn't read it.
I'm telling you. See, let me tell you, for 5 attempts from what Mr. Edele said, he wrote to NGF to try to meet them and do presentation for them. 5 times they turned him down. On the 5th time, He was there from 8 p.m. At about 1 a.m., they said that they were going to go. It was that he went 10 toes down. And he said, no, you guys have done this thing for too long. We've been meeting other sectors. Hear me out. Let's talk. Because he said, no, we need to submit. We've been taking too long. President wants us to submit. Let's present this thing. Guess what they told him? That, come and tell us how we can make more money.
Allegedly.
I trust Taiwo Oedele. I will take Taiwo Oedele's word over any governor in this country.
Including APC governors?
Yes, all of them. Right. They are governors.
Right.
I mean, Nigerian.
You do know that you're indicting the credibility or integrity of the governors who collectively say we need to have a second look about this legislation.
Now, let me tell you something. What their real fear is. The fear is that states who have low income earners, Tinubu is telling them, he's telling the governors, don't collect tax from people who are earning this amount, because those people are already going through enough, paying through increase electricity and fuel price. So this tax, let's leave it for them, so that at least it leaves money in their hand for them to be able to spend and improve their living. Businesses that are like this, that are growing. How do you tax a business that does not make profit? Yeah,
I'm sure they don't disagree with that. However, the redistribution formula, they say the redistribution formula in the current piece of legislation does not allow for equity. There are certain states that would earn ridiculously more than most states. Case in point, Lagos, your favorite example.
Another lies. Lies.
Really?
Yes. Now let me.
If you look at the provisions.
Hold on. Let me explain to you.
It's true.
Let me explain what derivation means. We are talking about tax, VAT, value-added tax, value-added tax, and I want to put it at the point of derivation because there are different stages of this value-added tax created. So there are different stages of derivation, of value-added, or value addition. Now, what it used to be right now is most companies who have their headquarters in Lagos file for their tax because most of them, their finance office is where their HQ is headquartered, right? So they file VAT to that state. So MTN, as it is, like all of the VAT from everywhere that MTN is collecting, MTN used to pay it to Lagos, right? Dangote, HQ in Lagos, all of the VAT on cement, all of the VAT on sugar, on all of whatever he does, it is paid to Lagos because his headquarters is there. But this tax reform is saying no, that is unfair. That the man in Sokoto makes call, even if it's just 1 minute. That 1 minute has VAT added to it. So MTN should be able to tell us that this call originated from Sokoto. So the VAT should be given to Sokoto, and MTN has the technology to do that. Dangote, we have the technology to do that. Even if we have complication in technology, if we apply knowledge and innovation, we'll design the solution to ensure it makes it easy. Right. And what this can tell you simply, now let's even look at it. What are the top 5 VAT generating items in Nigeria? Import duties, over 50%. And that is collected by federal government. That is federal government owned, import duty. And prior to now, federal government that owns import duty of 50% in the pool of the VAT, plus the one that comes from FCT, used to collect 15% of the general pool. Then, telecommunication, banking services, petroleum products. Please, are there any states that these products are not being consumed?
Right,
Yes, no. Let's have a progressive dialogue so that we move forward instead of rotating the same.
Okay.
Are there any states that these 3 items I've mentioned are not being consumed in Nigeria?
I mean, a lot of the contradicting arguments can both be true. In this particular conversation, but in a minute, because we have to wrap things up and switch gears to talk about the development in ECOWAS. 2025 is just around the corner. In a couple of days, we'll usher in the new year.
Inshallah.
And the president has, in his recent engagement with the media, given some guarantees about turning a corner, that next year is going to be much better than 2024. For Nigerians watching the program right now, listening to you, what do you think they can reasonably expect to turn around in 2025?
All right. Basically, the tax reform is going to go through the budget as it is right now. It's titled Budget of Restoration. Remember, the existing budget is budget of renewed hope. It was for us to do all the right thing to renew our hope. And from the result we are seeing from trying to do the right thing, ideally, as in legitimately, our hopes are renewed, right, at the macroeconomic level. But we need to drive this home to the pocket of the individuals. What will take care of it? The tax reform. Because the tax reform will leave more money in the hands of low-income earners and middle-income earners. Only top 10 earners in Nigeria will have to pay for a little more than what they currently pay. So what that means is businesses are going to stay in business and are going to employ more hands. Even when they are not turning in profit, government is saying, if you are not turning in profit, just try and keep going and keep employing people. Don't pay us anything. As a matter of fact, if there is a way we can inject some cash into you, we'll make loan at single digit available for you. Right. But we want you to keep and that will create jobs. Right. Then on the individual side, the fact is there's been a lot of intervention in agriculture, and government is we are expecting about 2,000 tractors. You know, a few have arrived. We're expecting 2,000 tractors every year for the next 5 years.
For how many million hectares, by the way?
I don't know. I don't have the figure as to how many hectares to a tractor. I mean, I'm not a Greek expert. The expert will tell you that.
I mean, last time we checked, the data is talking about over 40 million hectares that is being cultivated across the country. So a lot of people said 2,000 tractors, a drop in the ocean, to be honest. But you know, just
but 2,000, as small as it is better than zero, right?
Right. Okay.
And many drops.
Yeah.
The cup go full.
Okay, that's a very good point to land on the conversation. I wish we had more time to talk about this one, but 2024 is still here, and we'll get to revisit some of these issues at a much later date. Honorable Aliyu Audu, thank you so much for joining us on the program tonight, and we do appreciate you for stopping by. Hope to see you soon.
Always.
All right,
it's a pleasure.
That is our conversation with the Senior Special Assistant to President Tinubu on Public Communication, Aliyu Audu, talking about 2024 and what a year it has been for Nigeria, but of course from the perspective of the Tinubu administration. Up ahead, we take a look at developments in ECOWAS. A couple of weeks ago, the region decided to announce that by January 2025, the withdrawal notice will take effect. However, they have decided to extend the transition period for Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger that have announced their withdrawal from the bloc to July. The reply says, we don't need to reconsider. There is no going back about this departure. What does it mean for the region going forward? Join us after the break for more on this.